Assalamu alaikum. If you guys think it's hot, these lights are on fire. It's really hot up here. Before I start, I have to give a couple of thank yous to my wife, Aisha, who's sitting right up here. Thank you for being so patient. There are times when I come home at 9, 10, sometimes even 11 o'clock, and she gets mad every now and then, but not that much. So thank you for your patience and supporting me. Thank you. To my family and parents who weren't able to come here, thank you for the strength and value system you gave me to do this work. And then my civil rights interns, where are they? There they are. Laura San Pietro and Roger Stronak. I know that the work can get tedious and a little boring. You're going to see in just a couple of minutes that it's all worth it. So thank you, guys. And of course, as you all know, we have the best executive board, Naveen Rihawi, who put this banquet together. Please give her a round of applause, along with Osama Al-Qasim, Kareem, our treasurer, Iftikhar Hussain, Sally, our MC, Monica and Carlin. Thank you guys so much. And of course, my amazing staff, Rugi and Lena. Thank you guys. Let me start with a couple of analogies. If I told you that I changed my car's oil once a year, you would rightfully assume that I don't maintain my car and it's about to fall apart, right? If I told you my computer was updated 5 years ago, you'd rightfully assume that it's very slow and still has a dial-up modem, and it doesn't work. If I told you a certain minority in America didn't engage in civic engagement and democracy, then you should assume that that democracy doesn't work for that minority. We are in the business of maintaining democracy. That's what this is all about. That's what this organization is about. And maintaining democracy is hard work, but the tools are simple. The tools of this maintenance are our rights, our freedoms. When we employ these tools, when we participate, our democracy goes up, it uplifts itself, our country is raised. And when we don't, it goes down. Maintaining democracy involves holding our government accountable for civil rights. It means making sure those in positions of authority do not abuse their authority. Freedom of speech is not just a right, it's your responsibility to speak up when you see something wrong. And it's not even a civic duty, it's also a religious duty for Muslims here. Our Prophet Muhammad said, peace be upon him, if you see something wrong, you must change it with your hand. And if you can't do that, then speak up. And if you can't even speak up, at the very least, feel bad about it in your heart. And that is the weakest of faith. So through struggle and advocacy comes a positive contribution. When something bad happens, it's an opportunity to speak and make a positive contribution. So let me give you a couple of concrete examples of how standing up for something creates a very positive contribution. At this time, I'd like to bring to the stage a father and daughter pair, George and Jorne Manson. Please welcome them to the stage. Let me tell you the story of this high school student next to me, Jorne Manson. Last semester, she had a social studies class, and her social studies teacher was very interested in Islam and Muslims. In fact, he was so interested, he had a special lesson on Islam and Muslims every 2 weeks. And every 2 weeks, he would talk about how Islam is violence, and how Islam teaches everyone to take over other countries, including the Muslims here, who are here to take over America. He would he would show this student, a Muslim, pictures of hands getting chopped off and other violent images. And he even said, you know what, you kids, when you hear people say Islam is a religion of peace, you're smarter than that. You ought to know better than that. One day, Jorne came home to her father and said, you know, I'm one of the only Muslims in the school, and it's so embarrassing. Everyone asks me, are you a Muslim? You actually believe in that? And you know, maybe there is something wrong with this religion. And it's not her fault to think that. Imagine yourself alone in a situation like that. So Mr. Manson here took action, not to be self-serving, but he called CAIR-Philadelphia. And when he did, actually I am self-serving, it's a fundraiser. CAIR-Philadelphia helped the family file a complaint. But it was this family's courage to deal with phone call after phone call, testimonies and pages of forms that we are here to recognize. Once Jorne's school received a letter from me, teacher was suspended the next day. And it's not about that. It's not about getting people in trouble. It's about creating a positive contribution. Because of the courage of this family, the school has agreed for mandatory religious sensitivity training for all teachers, with a special emphasis on the misinformation about Islam and Muslims, and another session for the students. And this is not just a one-time thing, this is year-round. Every year these teachers are going to have this diversity training with the help of this family in CAIR-Philadelphia. Because of your courage, this school is going to be a better place. So please join me in recognizing George and Jorne Manson for courage in civil rights. At this time, I'd like to call to the stage Dina Odetala and Fatima Abdul Salam. Please come on up. Last year, Fatima turned 16. She was very excited. It was her time to go to the DMV and get a license. She could finally drive now. They were in line. When it was Fatima's turn to get her license, she was told, get that thing off your head. Her mother, Dina, said, why? I wear a headscarf too. I had no problems getting a license. The DMV staff said, well, it's different now. We have national security concerns. National security, national security, national security, repeated it all over again. We found out he was just making this up. As this was occurring, someone in the back of the line said, send them back to Afghanistan. And Fatima, I apologize that I'm kind of forcing you to relive this, but she broke down in tears and they left. When Dina called CAIR-Philadelphia, within 1 week, the director of all DMVs in Delaware made a public apology. The DMV agreed on mandatory retraining for all its staff, and Fatima was invited to get her license again free of charge. But here's where the courage comes in even more. I called Dina and said, you know, this might sound scary, but let's take this to the media. Let's spread awareness. People need to know about what's going on, and then once somebody reads this, maybe something good might come out of it. When the media story broke, here's what happened 2 weeks from then. The Washington, D.C. DMV found out, they read the story online, and they called the CAIR office in Washington, D.C., and they said, hey, you know what, we had a messed up policy on headscarves. We just don't want to have any problems. We're going to change our policy right now. Dina and Fatima, because of your courage, Delaware and Washington, D.C. are more accommodating places for Muslim Americans. Please join me. We're going to recognize them for the CAIR-Philadelphia Courage in Civil Rights Award.